Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here. And in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about 25 massive changes, secret features, hidden details, and more that Rockstar added to GTA Online in the Contract DLC update. So we've got a lot, so let's just dive into it today. At the number one spot, Chop. I think everyone's favorite character, maybe besides Dr. Dre from the Contract. Chop can actually do a lot in the agency, and he'll actually be in some fun locations. In fact, one of them can actually be waking up in bed next to you. So if you have the accommodation part of the agency, Chop will actually wake up in bed with you if you spawn there. He'll also be roaming about the office. He'll be in his dog bed. He'll be in Franklin's office just chilling out. So he does a lot of interesting things. It's just really cool the way Rockstar incorporated him back into this update. So that's the first thing today. The second thing today is Franklin's house has been significantly updated. So I'm not talking about the one with Aunt Denise. I'm talking about the one in Vinewood Hills. There's a handful of significant changes. We know that Franklin is now a family man. He has kids. He's married to Tanisha from the story mode. You can see that he has new cars and vehicles parked outside of his garage, with Tanisha being the owner of one of them, as you can tell by the license plate. There's also a sign on his address that says the Clintons, so that would imply that he's married. And in the backyard, you guys can actually see that there's like a swing set and there's like pool equipment. So Franklin has kids. I mean, this is confirmed later on, which we'll see. And it also looks like he's in a committed relationship with Tanisha, which is also very cool. Now, speaking of stuff from the single player, it looks like Michael DeSanta is actually alive. So Michael is actually referenced a handful of times. He's referenced in the opening cutscene where they refer to his wife, Amanda, actually getting together with the tennis coach, essentially spawning the entire single player story. And they also mention Michael as a producer at the movie studio at Solomon Richards when they actually drive through on the golf carts. I found that to be pretty funny. So I guess this really confirms a lot, and this is something we'll talk about in a separate video. But Michael is still alive. So does that give him the possibility of returning in GTA Online now that we know that he is officially alive? So that's at the number 3 spot today. Number 4, you can get free snacks in the agency. You can get a lot of free stuff, but I think snacks are the thing that players are going to focus on. So there's a table near the reception desk, and there's some bowls there. So you can actually just max out all your snacks, which is pretty awesome. There's been some changes to the Rc Bandito. One of the changes is the filter that you actually see, and I'm talking about the filter you get on the camera when you're driving it. Rockstar made it a little bit grainier, kind of like you were driving an RC car and not like inside of the actual vehicle, looking out of the windshield. And they also removed how you get access to it. It's now in the remote category of the interaction menu. So Rockstar made another big change with the remote feature on cars, something we'll talk about in a separate video. But this is an interesting change they did to the Rc Bandito. Speaking of other changes, Rockstar have added specific vehicle icons on the map for the new cars. So for example, if you're in like the Buffalo STX, it's going to have its own specific icon. You sometimes kind of see that for the airplanes and the weaponized vehicles. Well, Rockstar decided to do it for the cars and vehicles in the Contract DLC, which is kind of cool. Now, going back to the agency, another fun Easter egg. Franklin actually has his Employee of the Month plaque that Simeon gave to him in one of the very first missions of the game. We have talked about his poster, how it now says, "You own Los Santos." Well, he still has the Employee of the Month plaque that it was given to him by Simeon at the car dealership. So it just goes to show you how far Franklin has gone. You can also still see his green Western bagger in the garage. This will rotate between this and the white Buffalo that has his own license plate, FC 1988. So that's kind of cool. Another reference from Rockstar there, bringing it back to the single player. Speaking of single player and staying in the agency, on one of the computers, one of the backgrounds is actually Red Dead Redemption 2. So I think this is a fun little Easter egg right there because it actually does look like a computer background and it works almost perfectly. But that is a shot directly from RDR2. So a nice little reference right there from Rockstar, just throwing us some RDR2 Easter eggs in here. The number 10 spot today, if you actually decide to update the agency, Franklin will send you a text saying thank you for doing so, which is kind of cool. So I'm assuming a lot of you guys bought your agency and you did all the upgrades before going there. So you might not have ever seen this text, but if you make any change, big or small, Franklin will send you a text saying, hey, I appreciate that. So a nice little detail, again, there from Rockstar. Moving on, one of the things you guys might have noticed is that all the agency buildings have helipads on top. You can actually enter your agency if you're in a helicopter, just like you can in your executive office. So when you get your helicopter close to the helipad, it'll give you the option to automatically land it, and then you'll be placed inside of your agency. Very convenient if you're bopping around from place to place and you're in a helicopter. Just makes things very, very simple. Now, one thing I think is pretty cool about the agency, and this is what's going to cover the next three things, is if you just hang around, you'll hear comments from Franklin. You'll hear comments from Imani. You'll hear comments from the secretary dude downstairs. Well, there's three instances that I've seen so far that are pretty interesting. Franklin will actually talk about Lester and how our character robbed the Diamond Casino and Resort. Franklin will also talk about Pavel, the guy who is our captain of the Kosatka submarine, and the secretary dude downstairs will talk about how it looks like Trevor Phillips showed up, which also implies that he's alive. Again, we'll talk about that, and he tried to poop on a desk. So take a listen to these three things right there.
Hey, do you know some crazy-ass Russian dude? Some guy got passed through my office talking about some caviars and submarines and shit. Said he knew you. Something about wanting to take another trip to the Caribbean. Hey, look, so I was just on the phone with an old friend of mine, and he told me you and him robbed the Diamond Casino. Shit, that was fly as hell, homie.
This crazy dude swung by earlier, dressed like a hobo, like really on edge. He swore him and Mr. Clinton used to work together. Got really angry when I said he wasn't available. I had to stop him from shitting on the desk. Seriously. If you get a minute with Mr. Clinton, would you let him know?
So pretty cool and funny, right? That those were referenced and brought up. I really like that Rockstar incorporate our characters' past and also the single player stuff. So if you have a minute, just hang around the agency. You might hear some pretty cool things going on. Staying in the agency, if you go down to the third floor, you'll actually see an unreleased motorcycle. This belongs to Imani. So this is going to be one of the two motorcycles that are featured on the Legendary Motorsports site. So that's actually pretty cool right there that Rockstar is sort of teasing one of the unreleased bikes right in front of our faces. So if you're wondering why that's there, well, it belongs to Imani. It is her bike. Also, if you have unlocked the armory, you can get free ammo. I think it's every time you pop in, there's going to be ammo that you can grab. It's not a significant amount, but if you are up in your area or if you spawn in your office and you're making your way down, you might as well grab the free ammo that you're going to get before you go on with your day. So I do like that. Moving to the auto shop really quickly, you can now actually buy the cars that customers bring in. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to get you a discount or anything like that. But if you see a car on the lift and you're like, oh, I kind of like that, I've never seen that car before, Rockstar now gives you the option to just straight up buy it. And it should come with all the customizations that they want put on there as well. So that's kind of cool. Going back to our agency, there's a lot of Easter eggs, including a San Andreas one. I think there's a couple of San Andreas Easter eggs mentioned here. But in Franklin's office, you can see an OG lock record, which is really cool. I'm sure if you guys have played San Andreas, probably many of you jump back into the definitive edition of the trilogy. You'll know who OG Locke is, so that's actually really cool. Now, Rockstar is also in tune with the times because several times throughout the story, they mention NFTs. Now, I don't even want to try and go and breaking down what an NFT is because not only do I not know enough, but I just think they're so new and complicated, but I'm sure you guys have heard that word thrown around. It's like digital art that you can buy that becomes like yours and you become the owner of it. You can buy and sell and trade. It's very complicated, but Rockstar are very hip. They're in with the cool kids. They're mentioning NFTs. Now, Rockstar also mentioned on their newswire yesterday that they added new media stick USBs that you can get. Well, one of them can actually be found in Franklin's house. I'm not sure where the other ones are. I think one of them is at the Record A Studios that you kind of have to unlock after you complete the Dr. Dre contract. But if you were wondering if Rockstar had any like treasure hunts in this update, they do. They have the media sticks, which is kind of cool, and a new one can be found in Franklin's house. Now, going back to the agency, the garage actually has a laptop. And what's interesting about this laptop is you can see which of the new vehicles allow you to put the special upgrades on them. So like the Amani Tech or armored or weaponized. And you guys can notice there that it looks like there's some empty spaces. Well, that's probably because there's going to be those drip feed vehicles coming out soon, and they will be added to this list. So that's actually kind of cool. If you were confused on what new cars get the updates, check out the laptop in the garage. Also, staying in the agency, there's a lot of safe updates that you can see and new props put around the office. So as you complete things like the payphone assassinations or the contracts, you'll actually see that there will be things added to your agency, whether that be records put on the wall or golf balls that you see on your shelf or a laptop or a phone put in the safe. It's cool how Rockstar sort of dynamically update the agency as we continue to progress throughout the story. So that's kind of awesome. And I want to end this video with 2 more audio Easter eggs, some secret dialogue. So if you own a casino penthouse and a super yacht, you'll get a special line of dialogue that happens when you're doing one of the very first VIP contract missions, and it has you on a yacht trying to get back Dr. Dre's phone. Franklin will make some hilarious commentary along with Amani. Take a listen to this right here.
Okay, we got Dre here, and we got the Diamond Casino.
Oh, so that's where he gonna do the big reveal at, huh?
Yeah, most likely. I'll have a look. Hey, don't you have a penthouse there?
Wait, man, you got a penthouse and a super yacht? Man, who the fuck did you rob?
According to my research, everybody.
Ha! Now that's why you my motherfucking partner. Okay, but look, get your ass up out of here, cause we got more motherfuckers to rob real soon.
So it's pretty hilarious. Franklin's like, you own a yacht and a penthouse? Like, that's kind of fun right there. And Amani's like, yeah, this dude's like robbed everyone. So really hilarious back and forth. And ending today, I'm sure you guys know that iconic scene from Single Player where Lamar roasts Franklin. Well, Rockstar decided they wanted to do that again in 2021. And so Lamar roasts Franklin, and he does it a little bit different. And in my opinion, I'd say a little bit better. Take a listen to this right here.
Hey, what's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you, man. My kids up in there. I don't want your ass up in my house, nigga.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because your kids love me more than they love you. Maybe if you quit being so uptight and let Uncle Lamar give them some game, you'll have some harmony in your household. Nah, I just wanted to get in the hot tub, but now I don't even want to get in no funky-ass cum bucket. Nigga, fuck around and get pink eye. Because you's a dirty-ass B-I-E-Z.
What?
So how hilarious is that? Lamar roasts Franklin. That is just so beautiful. But anyways, that right there is 25 hidden details, secret features, updates, and changes that you might not have known about from the Contract DLC update here in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Do you know of any other secret details or changes that we did not discuss in this video that you want me to feature in a future one? Let me know in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.